The slope and y-intercept form of a line is given by y equals mx plus b, where the m and b are constants. The b is the y-intercept of the line. It's the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So the coordinates of that point are x is 0, y is whatever the value for b is. The m is the slope of the line. It tells you from one point to the next how many units the line goes up or down. For each of the number of units it goes right or left. So to graph a line using the slope and y-intercept, the first thing we need to do is to put that equation in the slope-intercept form. That is, solve it for y. Then we want to identify the y-intercept, that's the b value, and the slope, that's the m, the coefficient of the x. So we'll plot the y-intercept, that's when x is 0, y is whatever the b value is, and then follow the instruct directions given by the slope. Now the slope is generally expressed as a fraction. The numerator of that fraction tells us how many units you're going up if it's positive or down if it's negative. The denominator of that fraction tells you how many units you're going right if it's positive, left if it's negative. So to graph the equation, y equals 2/3 x minus 4. It already is solved for y, so it's already in the slope-intercept form. So the first thing we do is we'll identify the y-intercept. That is the number that stands by itself. So the y-intercept has the coordinates x is 0, y is negative 4. So on the y-axis, I'll make a point at negative 4, or when x is 0, y is negative 4. Now our slope is the coefficient of our x is 2/3. So the numerator tells us how many units that the line is going to go up if it's positive or down if it's negative. So it's a positive 2. We're going up 2 units. For each of the units, well, the denominator is positive. We go right 3. So starting from the y-intercept, the slope tells us to go up 2, 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. There's our point. I only need 2 points to draw a straight line. There's our graph. Now the second equation, the 3x plus 4y minus 8 equals 0. It's not in slope-intercept form, so I need to first solve it for y. I'll get the y term by itself, so I'll subtract 3x from both sides, add 8 to both sides. So I have 4y equals negative 3x plus 8. Then I'll divide each term on all sides of the equation by 4. I'm left with y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. So the y-intercept has the coordinates x is 0, y is 2. I'll plot that first. 2 on the y-axis, so when x is 0, y is 2. Now, from there, I'm going to follow the directions given by our slope, where our slope is negative 3/4. So if the fraction is negative, that means either the numerator or the denominator is negative. It doesn't matter which. So I could write this as negative 3/4 or 3/-4. So let's start with a slope of negative 3/4. So from the y-intercept, since the numerator is negative, that says I'm going down 3. Now the denominator is positive. That tells me to go right 4. So starting from the y-intercept, I'm going down 3. 1, 2, 3, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my point. So I could have 2 points, just draw my line right now. But I want to show that it doesn't matter whether you use negative 3/4 or 3/-4. So if I use the 3/-4, the numerator is positive, so that tells me to go up 3. The denominator is negative, it says go left 4. So from the y-intercept, if I follow the directions given by this slope, I'll go up 3. 1, 2, 3, left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a little mark there. You see that that mark is on that same line? So it doesn't matter whether I use the y-intercept and this point or the y-intercept and this point. It's still going to be on that same line. And there's our graph. Now for the last one, I have y minus 2x plus 3 equals 0. Well, it's not in slope-intercept form. So to put it in slope-intercept form, I'll solve it for y. So I'll add the 2x to both sides. Subtract 3 from both sides. So I have y equals 2x minus 3. So now that's slope-intercept form. The y-intercept is a number that stands by itself, that constant. So it's x is 0 and y is negative 3. So I'll plot that on the y-axis. I'll go down to where y is negative 3. X is 0, y is negative 3. Now the slope is 2. I need to express that as a fraction, so I'll put 2/1. The numerator tells us up if it's positive, down if it's negative. So that's a positive 2. I'm going up 2. The denominator is right if it's positive, left if it's negative. Well, that's a positive 1, so I'm going right 1. So from our y-intercept, I'm going up 2, 1, 2, right 1. There's our point. That's enough to draw a graph. So draw a line through those points. Label my axes. And the graph is done.